What you need to do is to learn the difference between running a business and owning a business.
You are raised with the idea of you are expected to do this, not that I want to do this.
So we are in a hypocritic society who feel that when it comes to others, we feel that this is
ये गलत है, ये वाला
When
गलत
it comes to our own families, we kind of get into the stereotype.
Is it fair to think about the succession even before they prove themselves? But the mindset is always like, I'm doing it for my kids. कि कल जाके उनको वो नहीं करना पड़े, that struggle that I am going through.
They are creating wealth for the kids and the family. Right? But the business that they are into or the choice of profession that they have chosen is for their own selfish needs. It's for themselves. My decisions, my behavior, my way. Sometimes even to that level that sometimes I have to tell him, "Tu maro baap chhe ki hu taro baap."
Does it get to your ego when he starts, advising you about your own whereabouts? Parents not just transmits their values, they also transmit their fears. That's what happened with in Mahabharata, right? Guru Drona did not give it to Ashwatthama. It was, I think there was an incident too when Ashwatthama actually fought with Guru Drona that I want the Brahmastra. And he said, you know what, let's find out. The right candidate will get the Brahmastra. In this episode, we are going to cover what's the big deal if I want to follow the path my parents led for me? Or is it a big deal if I don't? Business is in our blood. You're meant to do this. लोग क्या कहेंगे? घर का बिजनेस छोड़ के नौकरी करने चला. You are the future of this family. We've built this for you. You have to take this over. And the classic. लड़की तो पराया धन होती है. बेटा ही बिजनेस संभालेगा ना. Kartik, I have heard these statements in and out from the living room in the US, from the restaurants and cafes that I've visited across, and also the airport lounges because I travel a lot. And sometimes I just sit back and think about this. These kids who listen to these statements in and out, day in and day out, how is it taking toll on their mental health? What I've noticed, Kartik, that in this Indian diaspora, parents just don't pass down jewelries and properties and all of that. They also pass down their unfinished wishes, dreams, values, expectations. And I felt like you're the best guest today to kind of, give us a little bit of idea where we can talk about, this oscillating generation that oscillates between privilege and pressure and love and control. So we just want to know a little bit about how does this oscillation help us and how can that help us therapists to understand Indians diaspora and understand their mental health, because we get a lot of clients that go through these mental health issues regarding, sticking to the values of their family and taking over the family business and all of that, right? So a little bit of briefing. Let me introduce you to Kartik Shah, who is an engineer by profession, took over the family business. He's a third generation legacy machine, if I may say, raising his kids very differently. And Kartik, just to kind of ask you this, if I were to ask you, who are you? Without you giving me your name, what you do, which family you belong to, how would you answer that?
I mean, to be very honest, the first thing that comes to my mind is, if I'm not to put any labels to what I am and who I am, the first thing that comes to my mind is I'm a father. Because that's something that I have not yet been able to let go of, which I should.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm right now, that's one thing that comes to my mind. But other than that, I am a wanderer. I am kind of a learner who wants to grasp more and more in terms of, cultures, traditions, understanding of people.
Right.
And that is something that kind of labels me in this at this moment of time.
So you would say you're a father.
Yeah.
And I understand how much it might, like, what goes beyond that answer, that you're a father. Can you give me a little bit of idea? Like when you said you're a father, you did not say you're a son, you said you're a father.
When I say I'm a father, I still feel that there is a pressure of, kind of helping my son to make him learn how to fly.
What kind of pressure you're talking about?
Social pressure, right?
The log kya
The
kahenge?
log kya kahenge pressure, right? It's not.
Yes,
it's
the
not.
classic log kya kahenge syndrome.
It's not different for anybody. However, you feel that you want to be a different parent. You want to be somebody who doesn't, who's out of the box,
right,
and doesn't fit in the whole
right.
Social norms.
Right.
But you still have a pressure of, getting to see your son succeed. You start questioning yourself that, if he fails, what does people think that? What kind of a father was I?
That you were not a good father. So then most of the decisions or most of the steps you take as a father is because you don't want to get judged as a father.
Maybe I was not a good father. Maybe I didn't teach him well. Maybe I was too very.
But then don't you think you will get judged by your son as well, that you're not a good father?
Yeah, absolutely.
So eventually you're getting judged by both the parties, the society and your son.
Because you are the last generation, at least we are the last generation, who kind of is between the devil and the deep sea.
Right.
And it's like, the father, and I've heard multiple children say this to me, that my parents don't understand me.
Right.
My parents are absolutely terrible. That's the word they use.
Yeah, and they're hostile. I get it a lot. Like they're hostile. My dad is a narcissist,
and he doesn't understand.
And I'm like, did you go through all those diagnostic criteria? So Kartik, there is a very interesting fact that my therapist friends usually ask me. What happens in Indian culture? Because we did our education in the United States, and they are more westernized in understanding, but we also have this element of cultural diversity. And this is a classic question, like the whole idea of you don't have to do if you don't want to do. So my question to you is it in the Indian culture that you are raised with the idea of you are expected to do this, not that I want to do this? What do you think?
It's not there anymore.
Okay.
It was. It in some families, in some traditions, it was there. It was customary to. There was a certain way you were expected to behave when you were being brought up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it is anymore. I said this, and I say this multiple times. We've become soft as parents, especially in India.
Right.
And I think somewhere we've also started adapting the way the Western culture has been bringing up the kids.
Okay.
And I think we need to figure out where you need to set your expectations and where you need to say that you don't have to do it if you don't need to do it. It's important to say this also because certain expectations are your own fears, and certain expectations relate to, respect.
Right. So Kartik, you just mentioned about this intergenerational transmission of struggle versus sab easily mil gaya kind of stuff, right? When people the first generation moved from India to the US, and I would also say the first generation who are settling in India, starting up their own business, the succession, who is going to take over, is already decided even before asking the kids, or even before, understanding what their choice would be. When you're forming a business, the kid is still 2-year-old, but the mindset is always like, I'm doing it for my kids. Ke kal jaake unko wo nahi karna pade, that struggle that I am going through. So my question to you is it fair to think about the succession even before they prove themselves or even before they agreed to take over the family business?
I feel, everybody, every entrepreneur, the first generation entrepreneur, or even a person who's, tried to made a decision of going out of the country and staying in a different place and creating an ecosystem. I think one thing that they need to understand and embrace is that they're creating wealth for the kids and the family. Right? But the business that they are into, or the choice of profession that they have chosen, is for their own selfish needs. It's for themselves.
It's always for themselves.
It's never going to be that I started this business for my kids. You started generating wealth for your kids. You started giving them luxuries. You created luxury for them, comfort for them. But you never created a business for them. You need to embrace that. Let's not tell the kids that I started this business for you.
So what I hear a lot in the Indian diaspora, that girls who are capable of inheriting family business, they have interest, they want to, but somehow the number one choice is always the son, even if he's not interested. And I get my clients, coming up with this, both side of clients. The boy who really doesn't want to take over the family business, but he's pressured to, because that's what it is expected of him. So he also goes through that mental toll. And the girl who wants to, she's capable, she's proved herself, she's interested into it, but at the same time, she's not the first choice. Why is that?
I don't know. So there are two sides to it. There are multiple reasons why a family chooses this, difference or bias towards the gender. One is purely selfish reasons. They feel the girl is going to go away. She has to focus on her family.
Ladki paraya dhan hai. Okay.
And she has to focus more on her family rather than getting involved in our family. Because then suddenly she becomes the other family, right? And then that's how we've been, the older generation was.
So what you're trying to say is they're looking out for a girl. Like they are not biased for son, but they are just concerned about the girl, that she might be sandwiched between the in-laws.
Correct. And if you are more invested in your own business, probably you're not focused on what is happening in your new home, new surroundings, new environment.
I see.
That is one of the reasons that probably a lot of families don't want the girls to be a part of the family after the marriage. Before the marriage, they are very much okay to let her to lead, work on it, do it, especially in this current times. But I think a lot of even current generation parents want the girls not to continue the family business beyond their marriage. And I feel it's not correct.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think it is fair?
My personal views are that it's not fair.
But what if the girl is ready to balance? Like, why is that opportunity not given to a girl to be able to manage the home, her new home, as well as take care of the family business that she knows she's capable of handling?
Absolutely.
She can take over the father's legacy.
And even they know she's capable of.
So Dil Dhadakne though, I don't know if you've seen that movie, right? So Priyanka Chopra was the ultimate heir. Like she was capable, she was strong-headed woman, like she knew everything about the business and she could contribute a lot more and take the legacy forward. But somehow Anil Kapoor always backed up Ranveer Singh, that he is the one because he's the son, right? He's the one, he's the son. Wow, that's classic. Well, he was less responsible, free-spirited. I don't think he was ever interested in the father's business. Why is that? I just sometimes feel like it's unfair for Priyanka Chopra. Even though if she would have got married, why was that not given? Why the girls in today's generation are not given that opportunity to balance that?
No, we all felt for her. I think everybody in every generation who went and watched that movie, I feel that I speak for, I think most of them, is felt that Anil Kapoor was wrong with Priyanka Chopra, right? Though it is, so we are in a hypocritic society who feel कि when it comes to others, we feel that, this is
ये
not
गलत है,
हाँ.
ये वाला
When
गलत
it comes to our own families, we kind of, get into the stereotype. And it's not only one thing.
Right.
It's not only that because the girl is capable. As there are multiple factors. In this, it's clearly shown that the boy is not interested.
Yes.
But sometimes it's that the boy is interested.
Mm-hmm.
So that factor, they just don't want any sibling rivalry. They want things easy. So the easy way out is the girl anyways is going to her in-law.
But sibling rivalry तो दो भाइयों में भी होगा ना.
That they will manage. But here they have an opportunity to make it easy for themselves.
अच्छा, so this is for themselves.
It's always for themselves.
It's always for themselves.
Making it easy to keep the family sanctity. So the other problem also is a lot of Indian family businesses, the entrepreneur, the patriarch, the person who's founded the business, thinks and knows that he knows it all. There are people like us who are succession specialists, who coach people,
right,
and who try to help them set all the rules and the boundaries of having a succession plan,
right,
which they feel that they know better than everybody.
But does your plan include daughters in your succession planning?
Yes, if it is.
And where do they fit in that succession planning?
See, again, so sometimes I feel the women also don't want to be a part of it. It's a choice that the daughter needs to make. It's a choice that the family needs to make. If the reason for avoiding the daughter to be a part of the business is purely to avoid the drama, you need to have a proper succession plan. But if it is multiple other reasons or choices that you need, it's a choice that the daughter makes, it's a choice that the family makes, it's a choice the in-laws don't want. So there are multiple things associated with this decision. Now, if that is the case, then they have to, probably sort it out with their emotions.
We're going to a therapy.
Yeah, we're going to a therapy, of course.
And sit as a family with a family therapist and identify,
and kind of, figure out what needs to be
the
done.
roles and responsibilities.
But if it is, there is a will. Right. And they want to do this. But then they are afraid of the drama between the siblings, the rivalry, who will take over, what is the bias, whether so succession should not be taken up or should not be given on the basis of bias.
Gotcha.
Gender bias, age bias. Everybody feels, and it's been like a traditional thing in India, ki Raja no sauthi moto chokro j Raj sambhale.
Exactly.
That's not the case today, right? Things have changed.
And that should not be. I think that shift of mindset is needed. Like it could be that the elder son wants to do something else and the younger is into into the family business, and he well deserves it, or it could be somewhere where the daughter really deserves. So
without having any specific markers in terms of age or gender or anything, you lay down a very specific roles and responsibilities. You put down the attributes required to be a good leader, to manage the business, and once you find whoever of your kid ticks all the boxes,
whether it be a son or a daughter,
or a younger or a older,
or a younger or that gets the heir,
or a professional. Then if both of them don't, then start making your business
exit plan
run by professionals and let them own it.
And actually plan your own exit plan.
And you can always not have an exit, but also try to create a situation where the family is run by professionals, people who deserve it, do the right thing, are qualified, and your sons, daughters, your family enjoys the fruit of your effort,
your wealth.
Ultimately, you did this for wealth. You're giving them the wealth. Then why are you cribbing about them not running the show? Right.
You're doing it for their betterment. So just think about their mental health.
Exactly.
And not pressuring them for something.
And you know what? I will take you back to how the Indian Gurukul worked.
Yes.
Right. Every vidya. They used to call a skill or an art as a vidya, right? So every vidya, there was a specialist. Now, it was not that Guruji's vidya will come to the son, same Vidya will come. Okay, he will be a Brahmin,
Yeah.
he will teach, but not necessary that he will teach the same Vidya what the father is teaching.
Right.
That will go to the best, most suited disciple.
Suited disciple, absolutely.
Right.
That's what happened with in Mahabharata, right?
That's what
Guru Dron did not give it to Ashwatthama. It was, I think there was an incident too when Ashwatthama actually fought with Guru Dron that I want the Brahmastra.
Yeah, exactly.
And he said, you know what, let's find out. The right candidate will get the Brahmastra. And then he goes in that, I think, river or somewhere, and he's drowning, right? And at that point, Ashwatthama was on the bank trying to ask for help, whereas Arjun, he did not even think twice. He jumped in the river, and I think he just ripped. I don't remember what animal there was, but I was a croc, right? And he just threw that arrow and put that arrow in the croc's mouth and saved Drone, right?
True.
And I think that Guru Drone always said that he is well deserved. I'm not going to do injustice to my own
skill.
Vidya.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what every entrepreneur should understand. That by trying to hand over your legacy, your hard work, your sweat, your blood and sweat,
oh my God,
to
this is
somebody
beautiful.
who doesn't deserve it just because you love him,
right?
You are doing injustice to your own self.
I think that's what people should understand.
Absolutely.
I think that's what this generation who have led the family business should understand, that you've put your blood and sweat into creating this, right?
Correct.
Just like Guru Dron was created, who is the ultimate owner of this knowledge. He needs to identify who can take it forward, not the son or a daughter. He needs to understand that this will well be preserved or be owned by this person.
Absolutely.
And that could be an older son or a younger son or a son or a daughter or whoever.
Absolutely.
And it is not, it actually resolves a lot of drama, because at that point, the father doesn't have to think, Maro chokro to mara jevu nathi karto. Like, my son doesn't do what I used to do. Like, they have a different mindset.
Correct.
Because now the appointment is done very wisely.
Absolutely.
So there is the sense of relief.
Absolutely.
That the person that I'm giving my legacy well deserves the seat on the table. The well deserves to take over my legacy.
Correct.
Right? So that's why I think Guru Dron gave it to Arjun, because he knew somewhere down the line that Arjun is the one who can take it forward.
Correct. Absolutely. See, every entrepreneur starts with a growth mindset.
Right.
And every kid wants to enjoy the privilege of the family name.
Right.
And we also feel, as parents and as people who have, that we have built the foundation.
Right.
Now we want the son to take it up. And it was happening in Indian businesses for a long time. It is happening. And it has been proved successful. There are stories where kids didn't want to join the business, but now that they've joined the business, they become successful, because they sometimes don't realize what they want.
Right.
But
I feel like, what's a big deal if they don't realize today that what we want? Let's not pressure them. Let's just let them explore. Because if you have created a safety net for them, it's like, don't hold the bird so strong that you strangle the bird to death.
Absolutely.
Let them grow their wings, let them fly, and if it is meant to be, they will fly and flock back to you.
Absolutely.
And when they come back to you, they will take it with honor. They will enjoy the fruits, right? Like they will take it to another level. And that's what parents should keep the patience, let them.
And the moment, so everything that you build, and that's grown exponentially in the world, comes out of your passion to grow it.
Right.
Unless you don't put in your passion, things will never grow from
the way you want to. Perfect. What are some things that you had to unlearn, like consciously unlearn, while raising your kids as a father?
When I became a father, I don't think any of us as parents have a playbook, right? It's not handed over by my father. And so I was not conscious of any unlearning that happened during the process. But something that I constantly am aware about is that I have been a friend to him. He doesn't have to hide his feelings with me.
Okay. So you gave him an open platform to remain expressive. Like he can come out and express himself.
Yeah, he was comfortable enough to speak up his feelings if he's not happy about things, if my decisions, my behavior, my way. Sometimes even to that level that sometimes I have to tell him, "Tu maro baap chhe ki hu taro baap." So that is,
does it get to your ego when he starts, advising you about your own whereabouts? Like, Papa, we should do it this way, or we should do it some other way. Like, do you take it on your ego? Like, I have seen more Diwali than you.
Yeah. It does, but it depends on what situation you are in and how you want to play it as a parent. See, you don't need to, you need to choose your battles. Right. And as a parent, as I told you, we always want to be that safety net till the time he knows how to fly. That's why you're a father now. And if he is going to be fighting with me on trying to tell me that I have seen Google Maps this route is like this and you have to go like this for roads in Baroda, I'm going to say, shut up, because I know what I'm Diwali wadare main kari. Baroda mein hu wadare bole. You don't tell me.
Yeah, I know the shortcuts. I know that.
Yeah, but if he's talking to me about things that kind of that he explores more, latest technology, maybe changes in parenting, changes in things that, the way the world thinks now, the way things are, the lingo, the music. I learn a lot from him.
Good.
And I work a lot with young people. So the first teacher that I see is him, because he teaches me the local
so wonderful. The first teacher you see is in your son.
Yeah.
Rather than you being a teacher, you see him as your teacher.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful dynamic.
And I think it is important for every parent to learn a lot from the kids.
I think somehow unconsciously you have unlearned being a teacher to your father, to your son. Let me put it that way. Like unconsciously you've done that. For your son.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So asking for a friend. So Kartik, I had met this common friend. Let's call him Arjun. He's 29-year-old. He did his MBA in filming and whatever in the US, in Los Angeles. He comes back and he's worked in the best of the best production houses that you may call, like Netflix, etc., that level. So he thinks that I'm going to go back to India and I'm going to start my own production house and I'm going to take this, give back to the community kind of situation. So I meet him and he says that when I come back, my father already has a plan for me that beta ghar aa raha hai and beta is going to take over my insurance ka business. So what happened to him is like everything, the whole, the baggage of dreams and everything that he had come to, he wanted to come back to India and he wanted to establish himself. He literally told me that he had to pack it up and put it on the side because he owes it to his father. He knows how much it took for his father to send him to the US and pay those fees and all of that. He couldn't say a word. He couldn't tell his father a word. So he told, when he comes to the therapy and he starts asking me, like, मैं क्या करूँ? Like, अंदर से it's eating me up. Like, I feel so stuck. I don't like this business, but I'm the only son and I have to take over this. So I would like to know, what would you tell him? What should he do? From a succession perspective.
No, I think, again, from a succession perspective and being a coach, I would not ask him, I would not tell him what to do, but I would definitely ask him to start having a conversation with his dad, or probably have a coaching session with his dad on why is it important for him to ensure that his son runs this business. So because you are only looking at what the son feels and how the son feels. And what is his side of the story. We also need to know what is going on behind the mind of somebody who wants him to do that. So that is something that you need to bring on I think both of them need to have those conversations.
Absolutely.
What I feel will help them. See, whatever we tell them, and I think you should be elaborating this more on this, because you know it from the clinical perspective of things, while we know from the logical perspective of things. And what we can only make them think. We can only make them think the outcome is not us.
Right. And when you say, like, from the clinical perspective, what I would add on to that, and I think this will help you in your coaching sessions too. Psychologically, there is this transgenerational transmission theory. So what that says is, like, parents not just transmits their values, they also transmit their fears.
Yes.
So maybe what I told Arjun, maybe your father is fearful of something.
Correct.
Maybe he doesn't want you to fail.
Correct.
So have a conversation with him. Why is it so important for him to run this family business?
True.
Right? So this transgenerational transmission of values, fears, dreams, unfinished, projects that parents want kids to take over. So that, I think, plays a lot of role in your field also, planning the succession, and in my field also, in terms of understanding how the mindset, the psychology plays into it. And you know what, that's what happened actually. So we conducted a session with the father and son both, and it was magical. He was just assuming that the father would not give him the space because he never had the place to talk about it. So when he started talking about it, turned out to be the father was thinking that the field that he is in, which is filming, it's very competitive, and the son wouldn't, it's not that he doubted, but he doubted the society, and he felt like the city that we are in is a very small city to accept. So he will have to move the cities, and he will have to go to an urban city to get into filming and stuff like that. At the same time, the son wanted to stay with the parents. He did not want to move city, which he was very clear. But there was the gap in the communication. The father knew that his son would benefit from the family business because the son's ultimate goal was like he wanted to stay with the parents. That was the priority. It was not pressured or pushed onto him. So when this was reminded to Arjun that, you know what, I made this plan just because you always showed the desire to stay with the parents. This was the best thing I could give you, the family business, so you can run. I'm not taking away your dream from you, but I don't think this small city will support you. So now it is your choice whether or not you want to go to an urban city and leave your parents and pursue your dream, or you want to stay in this small city and take over the family business. So then Arjun, from that standpoint, he understood that, he was given options. When he was given the option, he was able to make a better choice. So I think, to summarize this, it's better, the solution to all of this dilemma is don't make a choice for them. What happened with Arjun's father is that he made a choice for him. Like, he knew in his mind that Arjun will not go to major city because he always desired to stay with the parents. So he assumed that when I make this choice about him taking over the family business, Arjun will happily take it. But Arjun saw it from a different perspective. He thought that he was obligated to take the family business, and dad doesn't want him to pursue. So there was that gap in understanding which was bridged in the therapy room when they both started saying, and this happens also, I will go back to the parenting, because parents have always given kids without asking them what they need.
Exactly.
Because they understand ye wala cry hai aur ye wala stuff hai, right? So this is how Arjun grew up. And this is how the parents also evolved.
Correct.
So dad thought that yehi Arjun ko acha lagega. And then when we did this, and then Arjun said, like, it really helped him understand, it gave him the sense of autonomy.
Correct.
कि मुझे choice दिए है. Now I will weigh my pros and cons. And now I will make a better choice for myself.
And sometimes he will make the same choice what the father made for him.
And Kartik, to your surprise, he did choose to stay in Vadodara. He chose to stay in the small city, and he chose to take over. But you know what changed? He did not have the guilt or resentment because this was the choice he made for himself. Correct. It was not like thopo on him.
No, you should ask me. And it's common not only for the kids, it's also for everybody, right? You ask me, I may want the same thing, but I should be asked. I should not be told.
Yes.
That is something that kind of, is human tendency. They don't want to be taken for granted.
Exactly.
Right? And the kids today definitely don't.
They don't.
And the older generation had this resentment all their life that they were taken for granted.
Right.
Maybe they turned out better.
The
path they were chosen to.
But I love the fact, give them choices, let them pick. Because when you give them choices, what happens is they have the agency of picking. Even if they go wrong, tomorrow they are not going to blame you for that. They will blame themselves, and they know my father or my parents are there waiting for me to make a mistake and then hold me. And when they turn around, that relationship turns out to be even more magical. And that's when they will ask. Right? So wait for them to ask.
Yeah, that's the key.
So this 17-year-old kid pulls me aside in the corner and asks me that मुझे पता है मेरा future तो fix है. But I feel so bad that they did not ask me. Like, I know I have to take over my family business, so I don't even have the passion to do anything. पढ़ के क्या करना है? Like, why will I study? Dad has a business. I have to eventually get onto that business. But I feel so bad that I was never asked whether or not I should take over. So what would you say on that?
My question is, what was that kid told? Or is the kid assuming? Something that I think somewhere you would be able to reflect better on this. But sometimes the kid also take their privileges for granted, but they don't want to take the responsibilities that come along with the privileges.
Right.
So yes, if you feel that you have been not given a choice to take over the family business and you assume you will take it up, you always had a choice to bring in a passion for yourself. Nobody told you not to. Right. You can, again, and I tell this again, that you can always choose to own the business rather than run the business. Right. A 17-year-old may not have that wisdom, but it also doesn't have the wisdom to, succeed, probably think so maturely that it's going to take over this business or see to the way, what the parents. Yeah. So I think for them, the thoughts will evolve. Right. But not doing anything else just because you are expected to do this is something that is a choice that you made. Right. And it not the parents made for you. That's what I feel.
But I feel there are these subtle dialogues that keep going in the society. Like, I see that in a lot of gatherings. You sit there and it's obvious that my son is going to take over my business. मोटो थईने आउच कर से ये बड़ा होके फिर ये आगे बढ़ाएगा, whatever, the thing. So the 17-year-old is sitting there and listening to those subtle conversations, those microaggressions which I say, where he doesn't even or she doesn't even have an option. Like, दिया ही नहीं है वो option, because those dialogues are so engraved and instilled that he or she knows that even if I step up for myself, this is not going to go anywhere. So I told the kid that, what you're going through right now is identity crisis. Don't go through the identity crisis. Write down things that you really want to do. Write down things what you want to be. Forget about what you want to do. Write down what you want to be. You want to be happy. You want to be successful. You want to be close to your parents or whatever. And see if these goals, or if you take on this pathway, if that is going to help you achieve those what I want to be.
Correct.
And keep a note and, kind of write down everything that you want to do so that you don't forget eventually.
Correct.
That what you are. And what you want to be. So Kartik, this person, the listener wrote it to us actually when we ran a survey. My brother was always the apparent heir, but I have been more involved and more interested in the family business. Now in my 30s, how do I ask for the seat on the table? So I kind of just said from the psychological angle that this is all about self-advocacy. Growing up in India, we are conditioned in a form to avoid conflict. And what I told her is like, what, if you're avoiding the conflict in the family, you're starting a conflict within yourself. So in order to get the clarity over the confusion that you have, you need to show your capabilities. You need to show what you can bring to the table, not the seat, but your expertise. So have a communication. Of course, we come in from the Indian culture where, challenging the norm is always difficult. But if you go with a soft tone, if you go there and talk about how you can bring your expertise and how you can, get this family business going and get it to another level, that is going to help you to get that seat on the table. So don't start the conflict within yourself, because if you start that conflict within yourself, it is going to reflect in the family dynamics going forward. What will happen is, when you will see your brother not doing well in the business, this little thing, the regret will always spike within you, right? Also, when he gets married and let's say, sister-in-law wala dynamics will come into play. Like I was the apparent heir and he took over and all of that. So don't regret, because you don't want to regret. You don't want to start that fire within yourself. So go ahead with the clarity. Go talk about what you can bring to the business. So, all right, Kartik, let's shake up things. I think we just got too much into the serious conversations, but it was very interesting. And sometimes, as you very well pointed, when it comes to others, we can say the right things, that this is the right or wrong thing to do. But when it comes to you, it's difficult choice, end of the day. So, I'm going to ask you some rapid fire question, okay? No thinking, the first thing that comes up to you. And so I'm going to throw you some quick questions. No overthinking, no reaction. It is your big deal moment. So it's like in our big deal, what's the big deal round? What is big deal for you? So the first question, now the stakes get real. The first question, what's the big deal for you? The chosen life or the inherited life?
I chose my inherited life.
Good. What's the big deal for you? Choose struggle while chasing passion or stability with family name and fame?
Struggle while chasing passion.
Okay. What's the big deal for you? Love or obligation?
That's a tough one, but I think obligation.
Okay. All right. So what's the big deal for you? Identity or legacy?
Legacy.
Okay. What's the big deal for you? Your dream or their dream?
Their dream.
Their dream. Okay. All right. So let's get to our last segment, the Big Deal Energy Club. And we say this in our, the format of what's the big deal, that there is always 1 year that you told yourself that I am going to shift my mindset from log kya kahenge to kuch to log kahenge. Right? Always that 1 year. That's when we establish our What's the Big Deal Club. So I want you to talk about that. What was that year and what made you say, what's the big deal?
Wow. So I'll tell you something. There are many instances in life that has happened, but something that is very close to my mind and I myself am proud of. I think,
right.
Which I am not very proud of myself for a lot of things, but then you keep on trying to make yourself better by reminding yourself of things you're not proud of.
Yes.
But something that I'm really very proud of is that I was given an opportunity to lead the group of 6,000 people who call themselves as Young Indians.
Right.
And I was the national chair. And it's like, we made a lot of plans and all those things. And there is a saying that goes on, if you want to humor the gods, tell them your plans.
Yes.
And by the time I took over, COVID hit and everything was a standstill. Right?
Oh, okay.
Something would have, something that triggered in me at that point of time was that what can be done? There were two choices that I could have made. That it's COVID and I can't do anything, and what can be done.
Okay.
And the second choice that I took was that there is COVID and I can do a lot of things with this role.
Okay.
And that is what I think made me proud of myself of trying to take a more difficult route and probably work with the organization in a way that we could make a lot of difference in those tough times.
Right. So that was your big deal here.
That was my big.
So let's say if I were to give you a T-shirt, and we are establishing this Big Deal Energy Club. So for you, the year would be 2020. So Big Deal Energy Club established in 2020. And if there is something that you would want the next gen to know, let's say your son to know, what would be that phrase or that 3 words that you would want to inscribe on that T-shirt?
Never let go of things. Never let go, or keep on going.
Keep on going.
Keep on.
Never let go.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Choose yourself.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So that's the wrap for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.